Toledo PD, you're needed for something important. Thank you.
Copy.
Nope. To anyone who thinks that Flop is reaching, you have no idea what the last month has been for Flop's investigation.
Thank you, Daisy.
Thank you, Daisy.
That was a fucking mess.
I believe
No,
she's
that
at
was
Mirror
great.
Park,
That was the
76.
best thing that's ever happened to me, honestly.
Yeah, it was Mirror Park.
No sarcasm.
I've
he
seen
just
the
said a lot of
vehicles
shit
on North Arnold Road.
that just opened my eyes to a lot of different things.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not sure if they're just driving around like idiots or there's a race going on.
Anyone who's saying that Flop is putting pieces together has
I'm
no
gonna move
idea,
into Channel 3 for the
has
sheriff.
zero
Scare
idea.
Daisy away, huh? Oh, Flop.
Listen,
Ah.
I didn't scare her.
Get the putos fruto shit, man.
Listen.
Listen.
There is so much that just got said that opened up my eyes to a lot, and I'm very happy.
I think you need to close your eyes for the black fucking circles you got.
Listen, don't worry about my eyes.
Speedy talked so much. Like, he also basically said that people who's working at Uvu is having AKs on them, so that's something to look out for.
I mean, they're walking around with AKs because they're getting shot up. Like,
Yeah, he also claimed that he leaves civilians alone and protects them. Unfortunately, he said that, when people try and, pretend to be civilians, there's a problem there.
The thing is that basically what I'm saying is that with the Uwu shit,
Hunter,
what do you expect when you have a fucking gang fucking
I expect it to completely
second in
intertie
command
with my
being dating
month-long
the owner,
investigation.
and they get shot up by the Vagos crew, which is his old crew. And then you have a bunch of old Vagos with him. Like, what do you expect, right? Like, I'm not gonna be surprised or surprised picture face when they're walking around with fucking AKs on their back,
8 for I was
ready for another
following a
shootout.
car that's going north on Sonora. We're heading
They don't
toward
give a fuck about a class 2
towards the
charge or
Blanca.
fucking assault with deadly.
I don't give a shit.
They would rather shoot somebody down and protect their people and their friends and their family, rather than watch them get gunned down right in front of them. So I can't really say I'm surprised about that.
Hey, it is what it fucking is.
There's a lot of petty feuds going on right now, so
oh yeah,
I think we just need to oversight the majority of those, because the majority of them will end within the next week and then rebuild in the next month. So
I'm thinking not. I'm thinking this might go on for a while.
Vagos and Uwu shit.
Oh yeah, this goes
Maybe,
a
we'll
lot. No, there's no maybe. This goes a lot deeper. Trust me. This has been my last month of.
I mean, second in command of the
guys, I got
Vagos
a
left. I mean,
Dog
I'm not
Reading full
surprised.
of high
Who was second in command?
Eastbound of Route 68. I'm
Benji?
gonna attend to the 1013
Benji
Bravo.
seriously
BCB on it.
was
Last
Vice El
eastbound
Jefe.
Route 68.
Vice El Jefe?
Yeah, which is like right underneath El Jefe, which is fucking Speedy.
So then who's the Grim Reaper?
I don't fucking know who the Grim Reaper is. I've never heard that nickname in my life.
Okay.
Fucking the only thing that I know is that when Speedy was gone for a little bit, they all looked for Benji. They all looked to Benji for answers and direction. And at the end of the day, fucking a long time ago, like a really long time ago, Flippy used to be there, right? Like Flippy was their little fucking bulldog.
To anyone who doesn't know about the investigation, exclamation point recap, and go
shit they
read
needed,
the
right?
quite literal
But
over
he
a
was their
month
shooter.
of paperwork.
Now he's part of
13 Bravo.
fucking Flippy and
Yeah,
Co.
so we've
or
got a-
CG,
we've
whatever
got a
he's a part
street
of.
race
But he's the same thing.
going
He's just a
eastbound
gun for hire,
68.
basically. The same with fucking
Copy
Curtis.
that.
Same with fucking,
Two crashed out vehicles right now.
you know,
Can't confirm if they're in the race, but they
Alex
just run over
Siskotovich.
Kansas.
Like a lot of these guys that are
Candace is
funneling in a
saying
little
that
bit
she
with all
was,
these other
trying
groups
to help,
are a lot of guns
someone
for
who
hire. They're good
their car
shots.
was stuck and she was trying
They have a
to
good like
fix
direction
it, but
during
then another
shootouts,
car
right?
came
And
by
that's
and
what they
ran
get
her
them
over.
for.
Mhm.
Like CG, for example,
Or a
right?
bike went. I
Their whole
can't see
entire
it.
group is very strong to the core with drivers, shooters, everything like that. They have like very few, like 3, I'd say, that aren't very good shots, and they're decent. But
Yeah,
you know,
let's,
like all
be
these
careful.
guys
A
are
car in the
fucking
middle of the
basically
road there,
like I said, they're basically fucking
people flying
recruits.
by here.
Like, and the second that
Say
they
that
see no
again?
use for them, they drop
Be
them like
careful, be car in
hotcakes.
the yeah. This
And then
car's
they're in
still
another
flying
group
through if you want to
within
move
the
your
next
car out the way.
month or two, or they just stick together and create their own group.
Well,
And that's exactly what you see running around town right now.
Well, yeah. There's some connections to that too, Spartan.
Candace
That
is in
I'm
the
wor-
middle of the road.
This has been my ongoing investigation. I mean, if you look at Vagos under investigative reports, you'll
What's the
see my
location,
name
Hunter?
for like the last over month
Found
of
Alvin.
all the different
I'm
reports
into
regarding it.
68.
this is kind of what I'm trying to funnel down to, though, is
I
that
think it might be a circuit
they're
on
attacking
68. I'm not
Uwu
sure this is quite
based
spaced
on the
out.
fact that, and I guess kind of, sort of pretending
Okay,
on
I've
what
gotta
Speedy
break off.
just
I gotta
said,
go
including
to,
the stuff that
Toledo.
I already know. This is personal.
Good luck.
They're not going there and robbing the place from all the reports I've been given every time they've ever been there, or anyone affiliated with the Vagos still has gone there. It has been for harm. It has not been for any personal gain.
Right. And like I said, when you have that second in command leave,
Mhm.
right, he's gonna take a lot of people with him. He took JJ, he took KJ, he took a lot of guys that were main heads for
I
the
don't-
Vagos, like big guys there, right? And at which point, when you take that, when you basically take a fucking group and you basically cut the heads off of a lot of fucking branches they cut out, right? Um, it- at which point it's gonna piss them off, right? They just lost a lot of shit. I'm sure they lost warehouses. I'm sure they lost a lot of supplies. I'm sure they lost a lot of guns. I'm sure they lost a lot of everything with that split that happened. And at which point, yeah, it becomes personal at that point, right? And when you see them doing well, and when you see that the girlfriend that is a legal side of them, more than likely, which is not hard to fucking guess with the group that she's around, she's probably the legal head for them. That's probably where they thrive, is by working there. You know, regardless if it's cleaning money or just making extra money for passive gain, right? To then do the bad shit they do. All this shit fucking adds up. And at the end of the day, fucking, he's not going to be happy about it. And why not, you know, I'm not going to say Speedy's fucking down bad because of it, because I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he has 10 more people to fill in their shoes. But at the same time, like, money isn't a thing to a lot of these people, right?
Oh, they don't care.
It's their status. It's their fucking what people think of them when they see them on the street. Are you scared of the Vagos? Yes, that's what they want to hear. Same with fucking every other gang in this fucking city. They want you to fucking have fear instilled into you when you fucking see them. Just like us. When people see us, we want them to be somewhat scared when they're doing bad shit. But the only difference between us and the gangs is the fact that we're here to protect them. We're not here to fucking shoot people down or anything like that. We're here in the fact that we want people to be scared to do crime, but at the same time we don't want people to be scared to approach us and to trust us to protect them. Right? And that's the only line that will ever be drawn between us and the fucking gangs. Is that we have a job to do and we're here to protect. And that's the only difference is that, but at the same time, there's a small piece of that still lies in the gangs, right? And that's their family. When something happens to their family, they protect. Like that's why I'm saying that when Uwu got attacked, I don't remember seeing any class 2s. Now Bobby's saying there's class 2s present there, just them walking around with AKs.
And C4.
Right, and C4. Like that's the thing is that their family got hurt. Guess what? Big guns come out when family gets hurt. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about a fine. They don't give a fuck about jail time. They want to make sure whatever fucking comes their way, they know something's going to hit them 10 times harder back when they come that way. So,
Spartan, I was going to keep this within because this is my investigation. Can you read something for me?
Eastbound, East Joshua Road.
what do you want me to read?
Well, you could read any of the Uwu incidents that have come up, but
Entering Grapeseed momentarily.
I mean, if you look up Vagos, I want you to read report, or not all of it, but some of it.
Crossing over Sonora Freeway.
Look up 26888.
Northbound Union Road. The vehicle spinning out. Vehicle's back
What
with
part do you want
wheels,
me to
northbound
read?
Union Road.
Read? Hold on. Was it this one? Hold on. Let me find it.
Crossing over Grapeseed Avenue, still northbound Union Road.
Read like the first debrief section.
Crossing over Sonora Freeway.
Like the
got
first and
finished by
second
locals,
paragraph.
advised, still headed westbound Union Road. Secondary VCB.
Northbound Union Road, left.
Because I have the list of everyone that's stepped away. But
Yeah,
you
westbound
know
Union.
a lot more about this than I had actually anticipated, and I may have questions for you moving forward, because I'm going to be pressing charges soon on people.
Right, westbound Union Road, entering Grapeseed, Maine. Continue westbound Grapeseed, Maine. Slowing down, left.
Yeah, no, I
southbound
knew about
Grapeseed,
this
Maine.
pretty early on. I talked to fucking Sky about this. because
Who?
I'd run into Reggie
Oh.
at a raid,
Left,
and he
eastbound
informed
CB
me
Road.
that like majority of those people left, and I bring that straight
600
to I
secondary,
think it was
eastbound
Hardcastle.
CB Road.
At the minute that I heard it, but yeah, when their split happened, I knew about Chico, KJ, and Reggie like right off the rip because I ran into them after they got out of the hospital apparently.
Mhm.
And then Reggie was like, "I don't know anything about being in the Vagos," and I was sprayed down with an AK, and that's like a clear indication. A lot of you guys aren't wearing yellow. You don't really remember too much, and you got sprayed down by AKs. It seems like something bad happened within your group, and
Left northbound East Joshua.
you know it doesn't seem like it's going to end up pretty. But
Well, yeah. Do you know what's really kind of fucked?
what?
Is that
Tertiary unit, if you want to take secondary, feel free. It's up to you.
all the times that the Vagas have gone to attack
Consider
Uwu,
eastbound East Joshua
they
Road.
don't rep their colors.
Right, southbound Sonora Freeway.
It's a really strange way of attacking, and I'm trying to make
It's
the connection
it's
as
a
to
stealth
why.
tactic.
Yeah, but you would think
That's
if
the
you
thing.
cared about where
Approaching
you're coming
neutral,
from,
full sending at southbound Sonora.
there would
So
be
142
more.
is
It would
fine.
be more personal if you were at least repping your colors. But they're not.
Well, the personal thing isn't
Not parallel with the
the
usual.
thing. They know who's attacking them.
Mhm.
That isn't a question,
Passing
right?
447.
Who else is going to go after Uwu, right? Like that's the thing, right? Like it's like it's almost like
Crossing over Sonora Road Bridge.
this might sound kind of weird to put in this term, but this is the term basically that I usually use with this kind of shit.
Passing
At which point,
bridge
it's
in,
almost like
southbound
setting a fight. You know who you're going to fight. Whereas if they
Gotta be
change the
merging
color or
southbound
change what they
Los Angeles
represent, you
Freeway.
still know who you're fighting, right?
What's it, Palomino? Yeah,
Like in a
Lincoln.
boxing match, if that makes sense, right? At which
Mhm.
point, when they come and hit you, and they come fucking rolling by and shooting down 3 or 4 of your people, right? That isn't a question of who's doing it at that point, right? Especially when they run up on you and then rob your shit
Taking
off you,
ramp, stand by.
right? And like that's the thing is that majority of these end up in that. One group goes down, the other group gets robbed,
Positioning
the other group
eastbound
dips out of the
Sonora
area.
Way.
Usually, that's a usual.
Passing power
There's
station.
a good handful of times, right? Like I'd say like 2 times where we've responded and
Vehicles when
gotten it
headed,
cleared up before
approaching
any of that
U-turn,
happened.
U-turn,
But
southbound
still, they
Sonora
know who
Freeway.
did it.
Approaching Sonora Way.
Just like with
Nah, I think
there was
they're
an
pretty
incident that
far out.
happened with the
Oh,
Uwu
got it.
farm where Reggie and all them were robbed. And then JJ and Ash went there because they were on the phone with Reggie and he said, I gotta go.
Vehicles taking the off-ramp towards
And then that
Palomino,
ended up in
southbound,
them
opposite
getting
Lincoln
shot
Avenue.
down by multiple AKs, shotguns, and everything. And at which point I asked JJ, hey, are you guys
Dirt
having a
road,
hard time with the
U-turn,
Vagos
northbound
still?
Palomino
Or still having
Freeway,
like,
opposite lanes of travel.
altercations? He's like, I'm not going to speak on it. But what I'll say is we're not on talking terms.
Bridge
Right?
direct
Basically
lanes,
indicating he
northbound
knows it
Palomino
was
Freeway.
them, but he's not gonna snitch to the police on it. Right? He's just basically gonna give us that little bit of like, hey, like yes, it is them, but I'm not gonna tell you
Opposite lanes,
directly.
northbound Palomino Freeway.
And that's just like a respect thing, right? Out of Southsiders usually, is they won't speak on it, and they won't ever tell you directly, but they'll give you a hint to basically be like, yeah, like this happened, but I'm not going to tell
Merging
you
to
so you can
Sonora
use it in
Freeway,
court
opposite
against them
lanes.
because at the end of the day,
Merging
the
to
thing
direct
that
lanes,
doesn't
back to opposite lanes of travel.
swing in their books is when they take somebody to court. If they took somebody to court for this kind of shit, that doesn't give them any kind of gain.
Still on
It doesn't matter
southbound,
the amount of money they
freeway
get. It
northbound.
doesn't matter how much time they get. It doesn't matter shit to them, right? That only matters to
Northbound
us,
Sonora
right? Because
Freeway,
we want to
parallel
protect
to
people. To them, when they handle shit on their own and they squash shit on their own, that's where the personal gain comes into them, right? Whether that's rep or whether that's, fucking money, whether, all these things come into play with these gang wars.
Not
We
parallel
don't
to
control
Grapeview,
it though.
Sonora Freeway.
They do. And at which point these things, these incidents won't stop happening until one of
Merging
them
opposite lanes of travel, northbound
basically
Sonora.
says, hey, we're done. We want to squash this. And at which point, whether it's money, whether it's rep,
Approaching Nebraska
whether it's
Pass.
whatever comes out of it, that's on them to figure out. But like I said, no matter if we take them to court, whether we throw them in the slammer for
Entering Nebraska
X
Pass,
amount of
opposite lanes
years,
travel.
they're going to keep going at it until their 2 groups have come up with a settlement on it. And that will never include us.
Exiting Nebraska Pass,
Spartan.
I
opposite
promise you
lanes of
that.
travel.
Do you want to help me with this investigation?
I'm to be honest with you, probably not.
Approaching Toledo.
I have so much shit on my table with fucking SRU shit.
I
Just slowing
figured,
down dramatically.
but
Stop.
you know
That's
a
what you
lot that may, honestly help me. I've only
I don't
got.
mind
U-turn,
giving
southbound
my
Great Ocean
put
Avenue.
in, but you also got to remember that
Purchase north.
before I moved here, Flop, I ran a gang task force unit. I used to deal with this shit every single fucking
Straight
day.
opposite lanes of travel,
Like,
10-15 to a wall.
Gangs are nothing new to me, and that's
You got
exactly
it.
why
Far out?
He's laying
you know,
He's laying down.
it's the thing is, like, we can do what we can, right? And like I said, like I can appreciate people that do this kind of shit. But the only time that you're really gonna do anything that is gonna be worth your time in this, to be completely honest with you, is when you target a group and you put that group in the ground. But guess what? The second you put that group in the ground, they will start rebuilding. The only time I've ever shut down gangs and completely put them out was when I absolutely destroyed everything they had. And that's a lot of fucking hard work, and that's a lot of fucking luck based in it too. Like, I think there's been 3 gangs that I've shut out, and majority of those got shut out because their gang leader died. And then when the gang leader died, it split 2 groups into fucking like mayhem, and they split into 2 different gangs.
Where do you
Like,
think
and
I'm at with this?
And like, that's what I'm saying, is that that's exactly what's happening right now. Is that like I said, Speedy was gone for a little bit, it seemed like, and that's why fucking I saw Benji all the time, and that's why everybody referred to him as Vice El Jefe, right? And that's the only reason I even got that information, is because I used to have to talk to Reggie a lot about it. A lot of these guys started to look at him as the figure, like the head of the group, and then when Speedy came back and tried to take the reins back, I'm sure it at first it would seem like nothing, and then it built into something. And now that something is coming to fucking, fruition, and at which point that's exactly what's happening with the Uwu stuff. Is that
Let me ask you a question.
groups are split now.
If Speedy
What's
were to
up?
go away for life, for an extremely long time, and their leader were to be, you could say, out of commission for a while, how do you think the Vagos would react, and who do you think would take over?
They would retaliate. That's the only thing that's gonna happen. They don't, from what I know, I don't know a single person that I can even name that would even try to take over those reins. Because at which point, when they take over those reins, they need to fucking make sure they're ready for that shit.
I'm
'Cause
gonna
that
head
shit
back
isn't
out there.
light.
Appreciate you
You're
guys.
good. Yeah,
Go for it.
that shit isn't light, right? Like, take example for example, our fucking heads of our departments, right? Like Pred, now Toretti's a sheriff, now Bass is the chief of police. All of them have a lot of shit on their table, right? All the fucking time that we don't know about all the time. And that's the same exact thing with gangs, right? All these guys that are at the top have a lot of shit on their plate and a lot of things that they need to be good at. Speedy is one of the best people I know that could talk to somebody and probably negotiate something out pretty well. But
Because he just talks about a bunch of nothing, and it somehow he makes it make sense.
right, and at which point though, guess what? When they do that shit and they have those people with them, their little core group, right? And that's exactly where Benji came into play. They learn from that. They then build off of that. Then why don't I want that for myself? Why wouldn't I want to be on top? Right? This is where the fucking shit gets rocky, right? And this is why there's a lot of fucking dead gangsters out there, right? Because at which point they start getting a big head, but the second that main dude hears about that hey, this group of guys is planning to either split from the group or try to take over the group as a whole because they want more power or they want more, whatever, whether it's social status, more money, whatever. They fucking get that shit stomped out as fast as they fucking can. And they make examples out of it, right? And that's exactly what they're trying to do with Uwu right now. They're trying to make an example out of Benji and the rest of the guys that left so that nobody else makes that jump and that leap to go somewhere else or to be their own thing.
Let me ask you
And
a
that's
question.
exactly what scares them.
Do you think Chino Gonzalez is a candidate who could lead the Vagos?
Chino? Like fucking
Chino Gonzalez?
Is he the one with like the half face?
Yeah.
Like he has like the yellow paint on half of his face.
Mhm.
He's too sporadic. He's a bulldog. He's just like fucking Juan, like Juan Carlos Hernandez Flippy.
Uh-huh.
He's a very much a person who listens to direction. He's very good at listening to direction and getting something done when he has a goal in mind, but he's not very much of a leader to where he sets those things. And that's exactly where the problem lies within secondary leadership a lot of the time. And that's where Benji, right? Like I said, that's where Benji was different. Benji wasn't just a dog. Benji was somebody who could negotiate. Benji was somebody who could basically take over when Speedy was gone. And that's exactly what he did. And a lot of people saw that. So when he left, he had a lot of people leave with him, right? Because they felt he might have been better. Or they all had a lot of things that built up to that, which we're not, I'm pretty sure we won't even be sure of, right? There could have been a lot of shit that happened that split them as well. But when they follow somebody, when you leave a group and you follow somebody, it's for a reason. It's not a, oh, just because they're my friend or anything like that. There's a solid reason behind it, right? And at which point, at this time, like I said, I can't think of a single person in my mind that would take over the Vagos for Speedy. And at which point, if that means that he's running it behind the fucking bars in Bolingbroke Penitentiary, he'll do that. There's been fucking multiple gang fucking leaders or fucking cartel leaders that have done it behind bars, and I'm sure you can fucking look up fucking documentaries on it. That they just fucking they still run shit.
It's
right?
very much
Because
like a
they have all the
mafia.
power. Right, exactly. They still have power within there, right? Within their group. Even if when they're behind bars, they just have to say one thing and snap their fingers and it will happen. Because those guys still follow them. They trust them. That's their family, right? And the second that he goes behind bars, they're going to retaliate against us, right? And the second they retaliate against us, that's when he starts making his plans on what he wants to do, right? He'll let them soak up their time fucking with us, or, maybe he'll tell them to cool off and be like, hey, you guys focus on making money right now. So when I need you guys to make moves, you guys can. At which point we could throw away the guy at the top, but at which point the guy at the top just makes the calls. He doesn't do any of the legwork. So the thing that you need to do and the thing that you need to be ready for is a RICO case on every single one of the Vagos, and hope that when you do that, that a gavel comes on top on all of them, because at which point that's the only time that you're going to be able to shut down a gang for a little bit, is when you have every single one, even the leg workers, even the ones that have no name, even the ones that 90% of us don't fucking know, when they're all put underneath that gavel. Not just the leader, because like I said, he just makes the calls. He doesn't do anything else. He seriously makes the calls and says, hey, this is what we're doing today, you guys, right? All of his guys that are doing the legwork are going to continue to do their legwork even when he's in prison. And at which point, that's not going to shut down what they have.
We have a monitored activity hit on a ATM for a Dean Watson.
Can I ask you a question?
Marino Road.
Yeah.
Do you know who Cousin is?
Who?
Cousin?
No.
Jose Luis Santana?
Is Casterman on duty?
I know Santana. I don't know.
You know,
Cousin. I don't know my
you know
cousin.
Arush Patel Santana?
Yeah.
Do you know Jose Luis Santana?
No.
Jose Luis Santana is Speedy's
65370.
cousin, and he's got the nickname Cousin.
Wait. Hold on that.
And
who's the highest ranking on
my-
radio right now?
My current ongoing, and I'm going to fill you in on this because I feel like you might be able to help guide me in some way. Chino Gonzalez? Remember that op we did down at the barrio that I led?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I was digging for Chino's
I
body.
want to provide some context. Yesterday there
He's
was
dead.
some kind of sting or something that was being done. So I don't think we should approach that without like
you have any
a
idea why?
sergeant or something advising
They're
us.
blooding out their own.
Okay.
All the people that left were shot or stabbed at various locations.
I agree with you.
Look at report
Let me
number.
see
I
who's
have
around,
photos to
just,
all of it, but look at report number.
See what we should do.
Wasn't.
Bear with me. 27870.
The copper? I can't remember who. Did you say my name? Yeah, were you involved in the Dean Watson thing yesterday?
I
No, I
found
was in
DNA
the
to everyone
ICU,
except for
but I
Pepe
was in the
Ramos
one
with
prior to
locations
that
given to
that
me.
put me in the
The
ICU.
other thing that's really fucked up
it's
is if
been
you
a
look at the La
bank
Fuente
monitoring
Blanca
thing, we don't
photos,
know what to
numbers
do
1,
with
2, 3, and 4 at the bottom.
The what? A bank monitor.
Someone wrote in the sand, "Flop,
So
stop looking into this,
yesterday,
or there will be blood."
Casterman
We
was
should,
running.
we should go up
And then there
there.
were footsteps that led over to a door that says Putos Frutos office. Private property, fuck off. And what's interesting to me is that whoever wrote that potentially could work at Putos Frutos. And if that's the case, what Speedy just said about how a Puto to a Fruto is corrupt, it sounds like I'm pulling strings, but because I've looked into it and I've read about it, and I've been dealing with it for a month, over a month at this point. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. And the thing is, okay, this might be like a thing with them within their group, but who comes to grab your soul when you die? You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what the Grim Reaper is, right? That's what
The
they're
devil.
getting at with that.
Right.
Well, no, they're saying the Grim Reaper is who delivers your
Dispatch any
soul.
available
Mhm.
unit
The Grim Reaper is the
assistance
person
being
that's there when you
requested on
die
Channel 7 for
and
door
knows when you're
checking.
gonna die, and he's basically like
Take 11.
somebody who delivers your soul to wherever you're going, right? So at which point they're indicating that this was their last straw, this is their last dance, this is their ending, right? Their Vagos self is dead. KJ, you know, him as a Vagos dead. Chico Guzman as a Vagos
Go for
dead.
dispatch.
JJ as a Vagos dead. Chino as a Vagos dead. Whether they ended up dead or not, whether they ended up, you know, being in a grave or not, that doesn't take away the fact that they're not Vagos anymore. They'll never be a Vagos again. It will never take away that they're basically saying, hey, we're tearing that away from you. That's exactly kind of what I feel like the reference is between that, right? Is that
I'm half a mile out from the bake activity.
they
Wanna
chose their
stay
side,
back and wait for
yes,
units, or you want me to roll in a lot?
but
Roll in.
their side that they chose, they're taking away that part of their life. They're saying that is no longer a part of you. And that's exactly what they knew would happen. Like, I'm 90% sure that KJ, JJ, fucking Chico, Chino, and fucking Benji all knew that at the end of the day, when they left,
and we're gonna need
they
other
weren't going to be
units
left
in the
alone.
surrounding area for
They would
any kinda
have
onlookers.
been chased after, hunted down, whatever needed to
Hey, Barb,
happen
I'm gonna be on
until
Barbarino,
they were
just,
basically
like, in a
told,
bush with my car.
hey, guess what? We want you to know that you're
I back right up
no
from
longer a
Highway,
Vagos,
perfect time to be
as
getting
well as you will never be one, as well as we're taking that away
Sorry,
from you.
what?
That you any
Am I at
chance
the
of
clothing store above
you
That's
thinking
time
that
to
you
get
still
drinks,
had
so
that
if you want me to roll
attachment
in.
to us.
No, stay
And
in
that's
your car,
their
kid, me,
their
stakes up.
farewell and their goodbye to that side of them. Is when they shot them, right?
Do you
At the
have
end of the
any
day, that's
additionals
exactly
on,
how it usually goes with gangs.
Two,
So when they
three,
blood their
and
people out,
Wombo.
they usually kill them, right? And that's the whole their goal is to kill them. But if they live, the sole purpose of it is to take away that part that they gave them. They basically say, hey, we gave you life, we gave you, you know, the life that you lived while you were within our gang, but we're taking that away and we're saying that that's done, and we're, you know, it's almost like washing your hands of somebody, but for them, and that's in like gang terms, is when they blood those people out.
So then why would they be going if they killed that life for them? As in this is a blood out to end that part of their life?
Who's not in that report? Tell me that right now, Flop.
I mean,
Who's not a victim on that list?
Speedy.
No. Who's not a victim that is part of
Dispatch
Uwu
holding reports of suspicious
and a part of that
activity
whole
on
entire
Clinton
group that
Avenue in
left?
downtown Vinewood District. Clear at 2200.
It's a one name. It just starts with a
Benji.
B. There you go. They don't feel like they're done with him.
Carjacking in progress in Bantam Canyon Drive, Richmond Glen
But
District.
when
on
you
a
have all
Lynx
those people
silver
backing him
color
up,
license plate
right,
62
and all
John
those
George
people still there to
Charles
support him,
302, clear at
and they left for
2205.
that reason more than likely, right? Because they're still with him. They still haven't gotten their final straw out, right? Like they haven't taken the fucking final guy out. Until Benji is laid out on a fucking a couch, a dirt fucking bed, anything like that, they're not done.
I'm ready. Rolling up from the
So
side.
until that happens, or
Yeah,
until
I'm
Benji
looking
says,
around.
"Hey,
There's a
here I
lavender
am.
color,
What do you want?"
car parked out front.
and they do what they need to do, these things won't stop.
Two-door sports car.
The second that Benji gives up, which will probably never happen, right?
Now let's just take a look at everything
This
around, and then
feud
we'll,
won't
check the
stop,
store.
and that's exactly the thing that is coming into play
I'm
here,
gonna
right?
check
Is
the
that
hilltop.
Benji's not a
Above us.
name crossed off their list yet,
Just
and until
north
he
of us
is,
there,
then
Copper, in case,
you know
like, he's
they're gonna keep going
sadistically
hard
looking
as
down.
hard as they can, because
Yeah, copy that.
they
So-
feel like they haven't taken away that Vagos part of them.
Check the beach.
Wombo's going inside the store to check.
Disregard.
He shot the
Spartan,
ground.
I'm-
Disregard.
Don't be surprised if I call you a lot
That was
moving
an
forward.
occasion.
Like a lot. Because you have a take on this that I never even
Dispatch Channel
considered.
broadcast still requesting additional officers for
'Cause you're
raids on
right.
Channel 7.
The one name I don't have on here of a
600
blood
flip
out
over after this.
is Benji.
Beach seems clear so far. I don't see anything. No hidden vehicles. No
You guys
hidden
want to talk about meta? Go on my Discord, please. My meta chat is
That's my
popping.
take on it, though. I
I
could
don't
be
read
wrong,
my meta
but
chat, but please go in there.
that's
You guys
what
can
I
talk
look at
meta.
it is.
If you
is
bring
that
up meta in chat, I've
they're not done
already
with
told my
them,
mods
so.
to permaban.
Until you find Benji laid out and put in the fucking either in the dirt or in the ICU, and there's something left behind to let you know that that happened, or to let the people that find his body know what happened.
Yeah, unless someone's hiding in the
Then,
beach.
like I said, you
in the
probably
bush on the beach, there's
won't
no
get a
one here.
resolution. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's either gonna have to be somebody's scared for Benji, or somebody's scared for the Vagos to come to you and be like, "Hey, here's a story. Let me break it down for you." And at which point they're gonna hope that you can fix it or resolve it before they tear each
Has
other
Ian
apart,
cleared the end of the pier?
right?
Maybe
Or they
might
tear
really watch it.
themselves apart. Because at the end of the day, that's like I said, the most important thing. Just like to us, right? When you go home,
Can I
right?
give him a walk over?
I'm sure the first two people you think
The
about and
special
want to make sure
units
they're
holding
safe
a
is your
kidnapping
dads.
in progress, Legion
Just
Square,
like
as well as
when
2
I go
entries on
home,
site in the igloo,
right?
clear
I
2231.
call and I want to make sure that my mom and dad are okay, my brothers are okay, everything like that, right? We have family. At the end of the day, both of those groups as a whole are two different families. Yes, they come from the same string, they come from the same cloth, but one of them split off. And like I said, that hurts.
Dispatch
hurts a
any
lot,
units willing to handle
right?
that kidnapping
When somebody
in progress,
basically,
Legion Square, identify,
you know,
respond code 3.
fucking throws dirt in your face and says,
7.
you know, like, I'm out, right? When you gave them
Clear
everything.
civilian route.
And that's exactly probably how Speedy
Any
feels. Is
additional?
he gave Benji everything and did everything he could. And Benji straight up left him in the dirt.
Dispatch just
And basically
676
threw
route
dirt
to
in
the
his face.
kidnapping at Legion Square.
And like I said, he's not on that list of the people that he's blooded
Clear
out.
2238.
So why wouldn't he want to make sure he's on that list?
All we have
I
so far is
have
911
some-
calls on a bison.
Frick, I have a description from a previous kidnapping that I just had reported to me. There's 4 individuals all wearing fluorescent tops.
That makes so much sense.
There was also
I never even thought
bison.
about that. That is such a different approach
Docs are gonna be clearing it too much.
to what I've done in this last
I'm
month.
seeing they're leaving.
I don't think it's going to change my final outcome, but I almost want to say you're correct, and that's the reason why they're attacking Uwu.
Well, it's something close to him, right? Like, and like that's the thing is that, like I said, that we operate the same way. Like, for example, like HVT, right?
Mhm.
When we were looking for Benji, where did we go? Uwu. His girls is there. That's his world. That's his everything. That girl, Ash, is absolutely everything to fucking Benji. And I'll tell you right now, he will go down and he will take every fucking bullet he can to make sure she's safe. He doesn't give a fuck if he ends up dead. He wants to make sure she's okay. Right? And if that ended up being the fact that he'd be put in the fucking
Clear,
dirt and he knew for a
2249.
fact that he would never live another second, but he knew that she'd be safe, he'd do it. And I'm sure that goes for a lot of people. I'm going to tell you right now, when I was with Pond, I would do the same exact thing for her. Even today, like I can't say that I probably wouldn't. If I had put Pond in a situation to the point where it was either I had to do
Dispatch holding
something
reports of suspicious activity. Holic
or
Avenue
she would be
in Burger
hurt,
District, clear 2254.
and it'd be really bad, like
421.
it'd be hard for me to say no. I wouldn't take that
Clear
bullet, or I wouldn't take
2255.
that thing, right? And like that's the thing is that I think there's a lot of the times that we sit here and we think about gangs, or we think about
Dispatch, I have the
you know, these people,
individuals
murderers
robbing
even,
at
right?
Legion
And we're
Square.
like, okay, let's take a stance back and look at this murderer by himself, right? But the thing is that a lot of us need to take a step back, look within ourselves, and then figure out exactly what they're thinking, maybe, right? And think about, what if we were in their situation? What if we were in their shoes, right? And that's exactly where we find the deeper meaning of what they're doing, right? And that's why I can't do the shit for fucking murderers. I can't fucking take a step into their shoes, because I could never imagine myself in those shoes or that place. But like Hayes and Hardcastle and Pond, like all of them can take that step back and almost envision themselves within that person. And that's what takes a fucking good ass fucking homicide detective to be, is somebody that can take that step back, look within, right? And then basically figure out their story with interrogations or whatever, or even just past records, and be like, okay, this is what happened in their life, and this is why they're doing it. And then talking to them about it, and 90% of the time, a murderer will admit it and be like, yes, this is exactly why I did it. Yes, I do it because of this, right? But they don't ever open up until you can figure it out yourself, because they don't trust anybody, right? Because that's exactly why they started murdering people, was because they felt like they were unheard and they didn't feel like they got enough attention. So they reach out and they start hurting people. So then people have to pay attention, right?
That's a really interesting approach, but you're right. By the way, the Chino thing that I told you does not leave here. I just
No, I
figured,
got you.
you know, you have an approach to this that I never thought about. I don't think it's going to change my final outcome to what I'm investigating,
Right.
but that's not a bad thing. It just gives me a bigger reason to go for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the thing is that I'm gonna tell you right now, don't beat yourself up if it really comes down to, like, a situation comes down to you questioning one of them and they don't want to talk. Okay, like, don't beat yourself up about it, because at the end of the day, like I said, these guys are fighting for something more than just what we know, right, or what we can see. They don't give a fuck about, like I said, jail time. They don't give a fuck about fines. They're fighting for something within themselves, and until we can until we're basically in their gang, we will never fully understand it, or until one of their gang members reaches out and gives you the story. So don't beat yourself up too much about it, and don't feel like you're going down a rabbit hole, because at which point, the second that you jump down that rabbit hole and you start basically bombarding yourself with all these things that you can't figure out, you know, a lot of the stuff comes down to, you have to give it time. And that time might be a week, it might be a month, it might be fucking 3 months. You don't really know, but eventually they will come to you. Eventually they'll reach out, or eventually you'll find little answers within, or even just hear little sly comments as you're walking away. Because I remember when I was walking away from fucking JJ and Ash asked, why are we protecting them? Right? Indicating, why are they protecting the Vagos from us? Why is he not admitting that it is the Vagos? Why is he not saying anything about the Vagos doing this to them? Right? So always just try to listen a little bit while you're walking away, especially from fucking questioning, because they will let out little sly comments to each other, especially the ones that are scared. And I'll tell you right now, Ash is scared. She doesn't want to lose Benji. She doesn't want to lose JJ. She doesn't want to lose KJ. She doesn't want to lose any of them. They're friends and family to her. She's scared. She's probably scared shitless. You know what I mean? Every single time that shooting happens, because one of those days, one of those guys might not get out of that fucking hospital room. Just like it's scary as fuck for us when we go to shootouts, right? Every single day that I see one of you guys shot down, I get scared as fuck. I don't show it, right? But I'm telling you right now, every single one of you guys that get shot down, I worry about you guys. And I'm scared that might be the day you guys don't fucking come out of the hospital room. But at the end of the day, I trust within our doctors and within the EMS to take care of you guys and make sure that you guys are good. And that's why, you know, like I said, I don't really show it, and I'm not really ever going to show it, but I fucking, you know, at the end of the day, I do care about you guys a lot, but it's fucking, I don't try to show it too much, because I don't want to fucking, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want to fucking, it's hard for me to show emotion to certain people.
We
really
can't show our emotions is the issue. We can, but if we let our emotions get in the way, unfortunately, yeah. I make fun of Carter for saying it, but realistically, he's right. Emotions get you killed. I mean, yep. we have to abide by what we know and follow protocol, and unfortunately, we need to keep that moving forward. That's got to be the gear that always moves, and we can't let it get halted because we feel like slowing it down because we're worried about someone. We need to prioritize everyone on the same page, like we always do, because that's how you end up saving lives. And I get that.
I'm a toxic piece of shit and biscuits.
Well, we all basically signed a document too, right? That said we're here to protect and serve until the last fucking bullet drops. And if that bullet drops and we're the ones down and we're dead, we signed that contract. We know exactly what we signed up for. That's exactly what fucking, you know, like Tony says every single time he's around, right? Fucking the second that you signed and the second that you said you want to become a part of this police department, you knew that there could be a day you don't go home, right? That's exactly why you tell those people that you care about and shit like that. And I do it a lot. I'm sure you hear me say it all the fucking time. I tell fucking a lot of people that I love them all the time, because one day it might be the last time I could tell them, or tell them that I appreciate them, or tell them that, I think they're doing a good job or anything like that, right? Because at the end of the day, that could be the fucking, the last word I get to say. And if that's the case, I'd rather say something that they can remember and be happy about rather than fucking, something about a stupid petty argument or something like that, right?
You're right. Spartan, I don't even know what to say, man. You've kind of opened me up to a whole new different perspective on, I guess, everything. I mean, you how do I put this? I feel like you would play a really good role in high command. I feel like you get it. I'm not saying that no one else gets it. I feel like you get it on a personal level that people can relate to. You know what I mean?
No, I got you. Truthfully, it's because I do get it. I've lost a lot of people, within working within 3 different police departments. And I've seen a lot of shit happen within gangs when I ran that gang task force unit. And even when I didn't, I still see it to this day, right? A lot of these groups, the second that, one of theirs gets hurt, you can see it's within the facts, right? The second that something happens to them with another group, that's when we get wars. Wars last maybe a week usually on average, but that's because usually it's petty shit. When it's something actually personal and something that fucking basically burns their fucking core to like a fucking boil, basically, that's when you see those long ass fucking gang wars that last months, to where they're fucking basically dry as fuck because of how much money they've lost from shooting each other, or the amount of fucking materials they've had to buy to supply their guns, or supply their meth, or supply their oxy, or anything like that. Like these guys will fight tooth and nail for each other, but that's why we have to do it for the same for us, right? We got to fight tooth and nail for each other, and hopefully we can stop them. But I'll tell you right now, like I said, the hardest thing is stopping these guys until they get what they want. So, like I said, don't fucking bash your head into a wall if you can't fix everything. And if the second that you close this case, that if something else pops up, because like I said, until you take out everything that they fucking have, even then, their legwork will still somehow fucking rejuvenate sometimes, and they'll be back on their fucking feet within the next 2 months.
You're right.
And that's I'm not gonna lie to you. That's exactly why I don't fucking really work with gang task force unit stuff anymore, because it's tireless. You will never not have a gang in the city, no matter how hard you try. It will never, ever, ever be completely closed. And that's what I had to realize. I did it for fucking, I think I did it for like a year. I ran it. And fucking, like I said, I saw these groups that I had torn down to the fucking ground with RICO cases, and they pop out of fucking nowhere again. And, it's basically starting from square one again, because they have new leads, they have new fucking this, new that. Or I split a group into 2 and tear them down, and then they start splitting into fucking 4 groups, and it's like I cut off one head and 2 reappear. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not. Like I said, I think I've only shut down like 4 fucking groups in my fucking whole entire career, and that was a lot of fucking work, and a lot of that time was because the leader died.
Yeah.
Like I said, enjoy your investigation while it lasts. But like I said, the second you close that book, just remember that it might reopen again. And at which point, don't fucking bash your head in because of it. Because at the end of the day, until you kill their fucking soul, until you kill the person that they are, and like just like they wanted to do with Benji and all them, right? Until you kill that spirit within them, they're never gonna give up. They're really not. And then that's just me being truthful to you. Like these guys fucking have warrior spirits, and they'll fight for their color until they fucking die. So you can't blame them for that. Like that's something to be somewhat respected, right?
They hold each other down. They hold each other accountable,
Yeah.
and that's always been something that gangs have done. I think I
And
need
even
to look
before
into. Yeah, absolutely.
Like fucking look at tribes, right?
Sure.
They fought tooth and nail when fucking shit came and hit the fan, even when they knew they more than likely would all die. They still fucking went to fucking war and battle and just hoped for the best, right? And we do the same thing, all of us together, right? as a fucking PD. We all go out there every single fucking day and put our fucking, our fucking head to the ground and hope that that day fucking ends up better than the last day was. And if it doesn't, then, we all recuperate and we all try to figure out different things we can do and the better ways we can do stuff. And that's exactly why we have those meetings, is to talk to each other and make sure that we're all on the somewhat same page. And then that's why we have the interdepartment stuff like SCU and SRU that we all divide and conquer almost. And luckily, we have a law behind us. But if we didn't, we'd be no different than those gangs. And I'm going to tell you right now that that's something that I've had to learn, and it's still hard for me to really admit. But the only difference between us and gangs is that we have law behind us and that we do our stuff legally and we're here to protect. But that's the only thing that really separates us from those groups out there fucking killing each other, right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of us, and that's including me, that I'm a fucking bull when I see something. When somebody hurts fucking PD or wants to come after PD, I want to fucking send everything I can after them.
You want to ruin their day.
But
You want to ruin their life, essentially.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, fucking, that's exactly what high command's there for, right? Is to keep me in check. To be like, hey, like, calm down for a second. Let's not do all that. Let's fucking take a step back and see where we can hurt them more. And that's exactly why I respect like people like you and Bundy and all them that actually do the paperwork that actually hurt people. Because at the end of the day, like, this is exactly what I was going to talk to Daisy about. Fucking Flippy and Miguel. Their jobs, majority of their jobs, right? When I look in the NDW, are a lot of things I've never really fucking seen. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't pay for tuner cars and they don't pay for a Subaru WRX and a fucking GTR on top of it. So I would encourage her. I was gonna encourage her to dig into their fucking bank statements and see exactly what kind of money they've been making, especially on the days that we've caught these 37 or we've gotten shot for these 37s and their cars have gotten away, to see if they've made huge fucking deposits. And if they did, then guess what? That leads into more of the financial fucking asset thing. We can start seizing assets from them and actually hurting them. Because I'm telling you right now, regardless of how much money they lose right now, it won't stop their operations. It won't fucking shut down the warehouse. They probably have 10 times the meth of in there. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
And that's exactly what that's my other point with those gangs is that fucking, like I said, their legwork doesn't stop. I'm 90% sure that we have at least, half a dozen warehouses that have stupid amounts of shit in them, but we'll never find them because they have a legal person running them or somebody that's completely out of the picture that they pay, X amount of money every fucking week.
Think of the brand new tier 1 quick
that person's just rolling in dough, not having to think a second about anything because they never go to that warehouse.
Also, Karen came in as well. No, you're right. Unfortunately, these operations, these groups know right from wrong, and they know how to avoid,
Yeah.
They know how to avoid the trouble.
Yep. Well, we're just the police department. We're not the government, right?
Yep.
The government is the people that you really got to be scared of. That's what I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, fucking.
Yep.
If we had a government here, like we had a military, we had fucking, agents, shit like that. Like FIB, don't get me wrong, they're fucking scary and shit like that. But from what I know, at least, they don't have fucking wire tampers and the fucking everything, and they don't have fucking. Like, to be honest, if we had traffic fucking lights that caught people's faces and warned us when they knew exactly where somebody was, a lot of these things would be shut down really quick. Like, and that's exactly what fucking that's what makes it fun for us, right? And that's what makes it fucking crazy is that we don't get those things. So we got to go out looking for the trouble. And when we look for the trouble, it usually fucking smacks us in the face at first. So
that's what happened with me with this whole investigation. I mean, it started with a bandana.
Yep.
But well, good shit, Spartan. I thank you for talking. This has been like you completely opened me up to a different perspective on this.
Good. I'm happy. I hope you fucking enjoy the rest of your investigation and that you actually enjoy doing it because it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's great. I'm right now looking at pushing 3 first-degree murders on people. So that's where I'm hoping to lead to by the end of the week is to have people in questioning.
Good shit. Well,
So
best of luck with that.
Thank you.
If you have questions, email is there and shit like that. So
yeah, man, I'll definitely email you. You hit me up, but I was not expecting to have this conversation like this. This has been awesome. Thank you.
No, of course. If you have more gang shit, then I'm more than happy to talk about it. But
yeah,
my involvement will probably be that we'll be talking about it because My ship has sailed. I've retired as a gang fucking task force leader. That shit is fucking tiring. But I was in your same shoes. I was the young guy that fucking wanted to jump at it fucking head first, and it was a lot of fun. So
I mean that's where I'm at with it. It's so fun. I'm practically addicted to it. It's like I just like finding all these new pages that unfold.
And you'll find out all these little stories and shit like that that you'll hold on for a long time. So
absolutely,
don't fucking stop yourself from finding out these stories, because I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these stories dig way deeper than you will ever think, and they'll blow your mind, and they'll fucking actually change the way that you think completely. Like
this
with
one
some of
already
these people.
has. I started off with this one thing, and then I learned how deep it went, and so far it has blown me away on how deep this disconnect has gone with the Vagos.
Yeah, it fucking happens, dude. When these groups get too big, they start having disconnects. Just like with our PD, right? We have disconnects still to this day. I'll tell you right now. Even our high command probably has disconnects, even though it's not crazy huge yet. But
sure.
Best of luck, the flop.
Thank you, Spartan. We'll talk soon.
Yep.
Bro. Mods, I'm gonna need that highlighted. That was like one of the realest conversations that I think I've ever had in 3.0. I think that was the realest conversation I've had in 3.0. Bob doesn't need to take notes. Spartan looked at my reports for 5 minutes and was able to make a connection. He's like, who's the one person on that list that was not found with any DNA? Yeah, Spartan straight up just passed a torch. That was really fucking cool. Honestly, it has me thinking about Benji now. It has me wonder how far does Benji go with this? We're definitely going to highlight that. That was a really cool conversation. I've never had a conversation that dude, this role play, you know what's going to happen, dude? You know what's going to happen? This story has to end at the end of December with the Vagos. By the end of December, I need to have something to go with, right? I'm going to be so upset knowing that I don't think I'll ever have a story as good as the last month has been. I don't think I'll ever have RP as good as this. That was so much to take in.